everybody. It's
Hey.
good to see you. Thank you for joining us in our first ever Unite podcast.
Absolutely, and we're excited to hear your thoughts. In fact, first we're going to start off with hearing Tim's thoughts. Hey, who are your favorite superheroes?
Oh, that's a great question. Man, growing up, I loved watching the 90s Spider-Man TV show.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that was my jam.
I mean, they may not know what 90s Spider-Man is. It's definitely not Tom Holland.
No,
right?
he's not. It was a little bit later
He's not
in
short.
Spider-Man's
He's
life.
not cute. He's not like that. He looks
He
like
was
Captain
failing
America.
at work, failing at college. It was a lot to live up to, honestly.
It was really bad. So it was a depressing.
What about you,
Spider-Man.
Kelly? What were some of your favorite superheroes?
Well, I loved Iron Man, and I loved Black Panther, and I loved, and I also loved Luke Cage. Like, these guys were just
Dude, when those
amazing.
Marvel movies started coming out, like, I had never been a big Thor fan, but I
Mm-hmm.
loved that movie. I saw that Iron Man movie probably 3 times in the theater.
Right.
It was
I did love Thor, though.
Yeah.
Thor.
I mean, Dark World was kind of a stinker.
No,
but,
that
you
doesn't
other
count.
than that,
Yes.
that's, the hero himself is
Iron
great.
Man 3 and Thor Dark World don't actually count in the Marvel Universe because those
Sure,
are just
sure.
like, we missed
Right.
the mark a little bit.
Yeah, we're like, oh, yeah, we'll just pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I think one kind of cool thing with superheroes that we were talking about earlier, and I promise this isn't just a superhero podcast, even
No.
though it probably could be. We probably
No.
could do a superhero podcast if we wanted to.
There's a lot of overlapping themes that have to do with superheroes
And the Bible.
in the Bible. Yes.
I think one of the things that we were talking about earlier is what's kind of cool is that each superhero has, like, they have their own area that they protect.
Yeah, and they had their own powers that were unique to their abilities.
That's right.
And also unique weaknesses as well.
Yeah, like Spider-Man would swing around and save people in New York City. Batman would swing around and save people in fake New York City.
Fake New York, yeah. Gotham and New York, and then Captain America would save people in America.
Right.
And, Black Panther took care of Wakanda,
Yep.
and Luke Cage took care of Harlem. And these particular guardians of those particular galaxies, were specialists in keeping those areas safe. But
Yep.
when they came together in either the Justice League or in Avengers, when they came together, that's when they were able to actually save the whole world or the whole planet or the whole
That's right.
universe.
Yeah, when the multiverse was under threat,
Yes,
they
the
had to
multiverse.
come together, draw together, join together in order to fight whatever that threat was.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, even just as a casual fan of TV shows and movies, like at the end of that Iron Man movie, when you get that little hint that there's maybe an Avengers thing happening in the
Right.
future, that is like Iron Man was a great movie, but Avengers, where they like a bunch of people coming together, like there was a reason that movie was a blockbuster hit. It's because we
Yeah.
were expecting better things from a team up
than from an individual.
That's right.
That's right. And I think there are some great things in store for you who individually love Revolution or RPYA, because you can expect great things to come when we team up together as both a ministry and personalities, and also just like life and wisdom. I mean, honestly, Tim, you're a pretty wise person. And I just think that there's a lot that you have to offer some of the students who've been in my ministry. And I'm really excited for the possibility for us to unite and come together and pool our resources so that we can actually offer more together than we can separate.
That's right. There's a ton that we're going to be able to do. I know every time that Kelly comes into Revolution, you guys are begging to have him back for more. And so we're excited to partner up. I think there's a lot of practical ways that we're going to be able to bounce off each other and just really provide a great experience. But there's something more behind this idea of unite, right? There's a reason that we wanted to come together. There's a reason we want to talk about uniting. And it's built on more than just the fact that we're going to be able to have a great worship experience.
Right,
We
which we will.
We want to do something that reflects the truth of God's word.
Absolutely. That's why in Galatians 3:28 it says that there's neither Jew nor Greek, slave nor free, male or female, for all are one in Christ. Now, those things that are true about you, male, female, slave, Greek, Jew, Gentile, all those things may be true denominations that you identify with, but those things pale in comparison to the one name that we come under, where we gather our true identity, which is under Jesus. And that's what we get to do, and that's what we get to actually magnify and And that's what our title actually signifies in coming together as two ministries under the title called Unite.
That's right. There's something greater about what ties us together than the things that separate us on the surface. And those things might be true about us, right? And those things are our backgrounds, our body, our current circumstances. Those are true things and things that we bring to the table.
Yeah.
But that isn't the core identity. Our core value isn't found in those things anymore, whether or not the world would define us by some of those characteristics.
Absolutely. And I think that's what we're struggling with in society today, is that we take things that are significant as the most significant things about us.
That's right. But the true most significant thing is where we stand with Jesus.
Absolutely. And so when we're coming together in this event called Unite, we are not putting those things aside saying that they're not important. What we are doing is saying that Jesus is more important. That even though there's different flavors, we all have the same base, right? What's important is what we came from and where we're going. And that's more important than our individual flavors.
We were talking about it earlier as kind of like ice cream. All ice cream has the same main ingredients. You've got the milk, you've got the sugar, and without those things, like, it's not ice cream.
Yeah, no matter what the flavor is, right? If you don't have those things, it's not going to be awesomeness called ice cream.
But everybody loves their different flavors. Like, I love mint chip.
And I love chocolate malted crunch, and you can only get it at Rite Aid, so don't even bother looking anywhere
And honestly,
else.
the older I've gotten, the more I've begun to appreciate just a nice, clean French vanilla.
Oh yeah, I like my, I like French vanilla, but I also like just like the marbleized like chocolate and vanilla blend. Like maybe even a swirl. But
I think we should do an ice cream podcast at some point too. A comic book podcast, an ice cream podcast, and a Jesus podcast.
But the beautiful thing that I want...
Available where you find...
But not at Rite Aid. And we can do it at Rite Aid so I can have chocolate malted crunch. But what makes that significant is that if I tried to have these multiple flavors and I did not put the common ingredient that makes ice cream, I'm not going to have a satisfying dessert. That I desire. I'm not going to be satisfied if there's no milk and there's no ice cream. And if you try to give me a slushie, it's not going to be the same. If you try to make a vanilla slushie or a chocolate malted crunch slushie, right? Right? You're
mint chip.
Icy, right? None of those things actually satisfy my need for ice cream.
That's right.
Right. That's why, there needs to be a commonality, a common base in order for us to express our differences in a way that values Jesus and not values the ingredient.
And so when we come together as the church, as Jesus' people, our core identity, that thing that is the base of what we're doing, is who Jesus is and what he has done for us and his drawing us together. His forgiveness for us, his grace, the truth of his word that we're building all this on.
Absolutely. That we can come together regardless of our ideologies and yet still love unconditionally because we have been loved ourselves. So we can come together no matter what grade, no matter what gender, no matter what our ideas are, no matter who we're voting for, no matter what ministry we quote unquote belong to, we can all come together united under Jesus Christ and him crucified. And that's what I'm excited about.
That's right. And so today we're just going to be talking to you about some of the basic things. This has been just a little bit of the heart behind why we're doing this. We also want to talk about how we're doing this. How do you get signed up? How do you make sure that you can join us? In the coming weeks, though, we want to do more than just give you a little bit of a how to be involved with Unite. Every week, we're going to be coming to you as a part of this podcast. Kelly and I are sitting next to each other, or standing next to each other, or driving next to each other, or probably next to each other.
Absolutely. And, we're going to come together every week because we want to give you an opportunity to respond. And so there might be something that we said, something that you're reading in the Bible, or maybe even a concern that you have in life, and you may have a question, and you may not feel comfortable asking it publicly. Well, there'll be a phone number that you can actually text in your questions to, and then we can actually talk about it, and we will give you a biblical response to a genuine concern.
Yeah, so it's a chance for us, really, if there's anything that's sparked by things going on in the world, things going on in your personal life, or things mentioned in the message after a Unite. We would love for you to text in those questions, and we would love to tackle as many of those as we can on a weekly basis during these times together.
Absolutely. And you can even start texting those questions in now to the number 949-791-9377. And that number is going to stay at the bottom, right at the bottom, or down here.
somewhere around here.
So right here, somewhere. Yeah, so it's 949-791-9377.
I like how you have that memorized. That's great.
I know.
I don't even have my own phone number memorized.
Well, it's not mine. It's a Google Voice number that's completely anonymous. And that way you know that you can share or you can ask whatever question that you may be afraid of asking, anonymously. Because it's anonymous.
Right, so is anonymous mean with your name?
I don't know. I actually don't know.
When
I
you
just
hand
made
in
it
a
up.
test and you put your name at the top, is that
Oh,
handing
I'm
it
being
in
anonymous.
anonymously?
I am anonymous, not anonymous. No, but it's
language
important.
jokes, that's
Language, yeah.
Our fourth podcast, a language podcast.
Yeah, but a couple things that I think people should know is that the topics that we're going to explore every week. Oh, no, some of the things people should know is what can we expect to experience other than awesome messages from Tim?
That's right. That's a great question. Almost like we planned that question. There are three things that we've kind of defined as sort of what we think God's goal for you during Unite is.
Or us.
Right, us included.
Yeah,
I think we're just as excited to experience this stuff too. The first one is to rethink. The second one is to revive, or to be revived, and then the third is to re-engage.
That's right. And because during this time of quarantine and pandemic, a lot of our spiritual disciplines may have, kind of fallen by the wayside because, we've been distracted by what's happening in society, which is very important.
I think a lot of us have felt like life is sort of on pause, or at least in slow motion. And we've kind of done that to our own spiritual life as well. We've taken a break. And part of that is, as we've talked about, like we lean on, and it's important to be involved in a weekly meeting of the people of God. Like that's an important part of God's plan for our growth. And so when that kind of got taken away from us, I think for many of us that kind of put our walk with God, at least it kind of put it in slow motion.
Yeah, I mean, with all this talk about flattening the curve, I think if we were to think about our spiritual journey as a curve, I think it's definitely been flattened. Plateaued. Flattened or plateaued, right? So that, the coronavirus is not the only thing that has been flattened during this time. It's definitely felt like serving, loving others, serving sacrificially, pursuing Jesus. Some of those things have been flattened as well. And we want to help people revive.
We want Unite
re-engage
to be a shot in the arm for all of us.
Yes.
A vaccine, if you will.
The vaccine, yes. So come get your spiritual vaccine at the Church of Rocky Peak, Sunday nights, starting October 4th.
That's right.
And it's all going down at
Rocky Peak.
At what time again?
At 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, you can register in the link that's going to be either below or above in some of the descriptions or in our bios. Definitely in our Instagram bio. You can
go
follow
to rockypeak.org, the high school page. You can go to rockypeak.org, the young adult page.
Yeah, RPYA.
There's
or
so
RP
many
Young
places.
Adults.
It's all pointing to the same registration link. But you need to register in order to come. Just a part of all the COVID restrictions means that we kind of need to have an idea of who's coming so we can be as prepared as possible.
Absolutely.
There's no cost.
There's no cost. And there's going to be food.
There will be food.
Food trucks.
That's right.
So we're not actually serving the food. There's going to be designated food trucks where,
they're taking the precautions.
They're taking the precautions.
We're mapping out the line and everything to make sure everyone is safe. We're not just going like full bore.
Yeah, so just bring your lawn chairs because it's all outside.
That's right. Bring your own chair. Bring a mask.
I do like bringing my own lawn chairs because I get to curate my sitting experience.
That's right. I get to pick a chair that fits me.
Right.
Personally.
Yeah, and I think
and
my
I
actually
chair comes
went
with
out.
A cup holder.
My chair has a shelf.
A shelf.
Yeah, it like folds out. It has a shelf with a little backpack and an ice chest connected to it.
Dang.
I know. I love
my chair game.
I love it. And the great thing is that we're doing it at 6 o'clock at night, so you don't have to worry about the sun beating down on my bald head.
Sun's going down. It'll be a really nice experience. The only thing I'm hoping is just that the amazing winds that we experience occasionally are on hold for those Sunday evenings.
So some of the facts again. Sunday nights, 6 o'clock. Text in your questions. Join us there. Also register in the link that is in our social media bios or at rockypeak.org. We cannot wait to worship God and re-engage, rethink, and renew our relationship with God and others Sunday night, starting October 4th. See ya.